For the last couple of years, I've been learning to play tennis with my left hand. Now, I'm naturally a right-handed player, but unfortunately, I injured myself in a mountain bike crash. I can't play tennis right-handed anymore, so I'm learning to play with my left, and my goal is to hopefully become a 5.0 player. Now, over the last couple of years, I've improved a lot. My backhand is strong, so I'm confident on my topspin, single-hander. I'm very confident with my slice. I'm comfortable at the net, although could definitely do with more work, and I'm starting to feel more comfortable on the serve. I've got a decent flat serve. I'm starting to develop slice and a reliable kick serve. My forehand is okay. It's not as good as my backhand. There are some things that I do well, so if the ball's at a comfortable height, then I can hit a decent ball. I can hit with a reasonable amount of power. I can vary the spin. I can place it well. But there was something that I was struggling with, and it meant that when I was playing points, when I was playing matches, I was lacking confidence. And I finally realized what it was, and it was a slight error on my part, but I'd completely neglected to practice one of the most important footwork patterns for the forehand in tennis. And because of that, there were certain situations that I would get into, and I would get into very frequently, where I was just limited in terms of the type of forehand that I was able to hit, and I was making too many unforced errors because of it. So in this video, I want to talk about that footwork pattern and explain why it's so important, because since I started practicing it, it has very quickly led to improvements in my point and match play. So hopefully you find the video helpful. If you do, it'd be great if you give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel before, it's much appreciated if you could do that as well. So the footwork pattern that I'm talking about is the reverse single leg pivot. This is one of the most commonly seen footwork patterns in professional tennis because it enables you to hit a good quality shot while you're on your back foot. So when you're pushed back and deep and you don't have time, or you don't have the ability to step into the ball, using the reverse single leg pivot allows you to effectively drive through your back or outside hip to initiate the stroke while you're on your back foot. And it was something that I was completely missing, and because of it I was very limited. So it's something that if you don't already possess within your own game, I highly recommend that you do a little bit of experimentation with. Okay, so let's take a look at things in slow motion so you can see how it works. Now, as you hopefully already know, you're going to be initiating all of your strokes driving through your back or outside leg. So the preparation is going to look very similar. So I'm loading my left leg because I'm left-handed. This is my outside leg. If you're a right-handed player, you'll be loading your right leg. You'll see that my torso is rotated, so I've got a good unit turn with my upper body. My pelvis is also pointing to the side. So this is kind of setting things up so that we can then drive, and then what I'm going to be doing is driving and throwing my left hip forwards and round to initiate the swing. Now when you're stepping into the ball, it looks a little bit different, but here we're going to be pivoting on the left leg to allow that hip drive to happen. So I'm throwing my left hip forwards. So this left hip has rotated around, and that has pulled me forwards into the racket lag position. But then you'll see that this right leg has kicked up. I'm pivoting on the left leg, the right leg has kicked up as a counterbalance. So that's the reverse single leg pivot. So we'll go back, we'll take a look at that again. We're into the loading position. We're going to throw this left hip forwards, your right hip as a right-handed player, and then the right leg is going to kick up as a counterbalance, and then we go through to contact. And obviously, depending where the ball goes, it's going to look slightly different. So this one I'm moving out to a wider ball, but I'm still loading into that left leg. I'm driving up into the ball, and the right leg is kicking up as a counterbalance. And this really allows me to bring the pelvis around. It allows me to bring the torso around while being on my back foot. Okay, so that's the reverse single leg pivot. Like I said earlier, really important footwork pattern. It's going to help you to deal with some of the trickier balls that you have to deal with while you're on your back foot. So it allows you to get a good quality shot from trickier positions and hopefully neutralize the rally. But it is something that you're going to have to practice and work on because it's an unusual movement. So it's best to start without the ball. So do repetitions, loading on your outside leg. What does it feel like to drive through the hip and allow the other leg to kick up as a counterbalance. Practice without the ball, then try and set up a situation like I did with the ball machine, where you can get lots of repetitions so you can groove it with the ball, and once you've done that enough times, you'll be able to do it in open rallies and in point play and in match play. Before I close out the video, I just want to let you know about some additional help that's available to you if you're serious about improving your game. I have a coaching program where I work with players around the world. I do help players to improve technique and things like we're talking about here, but the main thing that I help players to do is to use brain-based training to become more skillful, because everything has a skill component. Obviously here I'm demonstrating quite high level techniques with my left hand. The only reason that I'm able to do that is because I've done so much work on my visual system and on my coordination, and because they're functioning at a relatively high level, I'm now able to learn these higher level techniques more easily. So if that's something you'd like to learn how to do yourself, I've got a class that's going to teach you more about it. I'll place a link up there, and I'll place a link down in the description so you can check that out. If you have any questions about what we've talked about here, leave your comments down below. If not, I hope you have enjoyed the video. If you give me a thumbs up, that's awesome, and if you could subscribe to my channel, that is also much appreciated, and I will catch you next time.